My disloyal spouse cast me from a yacht in her quest to seize $3 billion. Upon their return, I stood ready with a. It is often said that the depths of a person's character are revealed only when one witnesses their reaction to the end of one's own existence. In the dim light of my study, I observe my wife of 12 years as she raises a champagne toast alongside my CFO, commemorating the unfortunate incident that befell me on the water. Having constructed a tech security empire valued at $3 billion from the ground up, I ultimately uncovered the singular vulnerability I was unable to mend. Trust. On the screens surrounding them, the proof of their 2-year plot unfolds in stunning clarity. My medication is being tampered with, offshore accounts are being established, and company protocols are being altered. I am acutely aware of the irony at play. The architect of a vast empire dedicated to safeguarding the digital secrets of others found himself unable to shield against the most personal of betrayals. Amelia Cole remains unaware that enduring the vastness of open water was merely the initial stage of my carefully crafted contingency plan. I emerge from the darkness, relishing the instant when their joy crumbles to dust. It has long been my conviction that individuals should be afforded the opportunity to articulate their side of the story prior to encountering repercussions. This is now yours to claim. At my 70th birthday celebration, the champagne cascaded in abundance, creating an atmosphere of joy and festivity. Amelia Cole had turned our lakeside estate into a display of refined beauty, striking the perfect balance between sophistication and subtlety. Crafting flawless facades was her true art. Amelia Cole lifted her glass to Ethan Cole, her voice resonating through the circle of friends and colleagues surrounding US-55. She exuded a captivating allure, her meticulously preserved beauty standing in sharp relief to my worn visage. The flickering candlelight gently blurred the contours of her eyes, those very eyes that had ensnared my heart a dozen years prior when she introduced me to a slice of paradise in San Diego. Who transformed SecureTech into the formidable protection giant it stands as today? Your legacy is undeniably secure, my dear. I observed a subtle accentuation on legacy, as if my contributions were tethered to a bygone era. I smiled and accepted the toast, yet there was a dissonance in her eyes that belied her words. A meticulous assessment. Unless what, indeed? Unless he had harbored suspicions prior to the yacht's arrival. Yet that seems utterly unattainable. He exhibited no indications. He has passed away. Adrian Blake. Deceased individuals do not engage in the establishment of security measures. Unless he is not dead, Adrian Blake whispered, articulating the dread that had started to take shape. The phone of Amelia Cole began to ring. An SEC investigator has summoned her to attend the board meeting scheduled for tomorrow. The investigator assured her that these were merely routine inquiries regarding recent transactions. Following the call, Amelia Cole's meticulously crafted facade shattered entirely. They are examining the offshore transfers. What method did they employ to locate those so swiftly? Adrian Blake came to the realization that the system must have activated automated alerts. Ethan Cole implemented additional safeguards beyond our expectations. Fix this, Amelia Cole hissed. I have journeyed too far to let it all slip away now that I am the shadows of our fortified haven. The last touches were being meticulously applied. Packages of evidence were meticulously assembled for each board member. Law enforcement had been strategically deployed, and SEC investigators were equipped with essential financial documents. All is set, Ryan Mitchell affirmed. Amelia Cole and Adrian Blake are set to arrive independently, upholding their professional boundaries. The board is set to convene by 9 a.m. I adjusted my tie, scrutinizing my reflection in the glass. The previous week had presented its trials, yet I maintained an air of composure and dignity. Far from the bewildered old man Amelia Cole had depicted. Keep in mind, Samuel Brooks warned, she becomes perilous when backed into a corner. I responded with a straightforward affirmation. Let us bring this to a close. The atmosphere in the SecureTech boardroom crackled with charged dialogue. Amelia Cole occupied the head of the table, my rightful place, exuding confidence in the face of the unanticipated SEC presence. Adrian Blake stood close by, articulating financial projections that underscored the imperative restructuring of the company's priorities. The boardroom, boasting expansive vistas of Silicon Valley, had been the backdrop for innumerable strategic decisions over the span of 2 decades. Today would unfold in its most dramatic fashion. Adrian Blake wrapped up his presentation, highlighting that the removal of specific legacy costs is poised to enhance our quarterly performance by 17%. These legacy costs encompass the mentorship foundation that has gifted SecureTech with some of our most innovative talent, Edward Clark noted, his voice resonating with the authority of his 4 decades in technology, many of whom now play pivotal roles in our core security products. Sentimentality is a luxury that public companies simply cannot afford, Amelia Cole replied with a smooth confidence. It was in the twilight of his understanding that Ethan Cole made the decision to appoint me as his successor, Edward Clark replied. I don't remember that vote. It was part of our personal arrangement, Amelia Cole remarked with a wave of her hand, her tone laced with indifference. Shall we move forward with the formal approval of the transition? Angela Wu, the diligent SEC investigator, cleared her throat with purpose. Prior to that vote, I find myself with a few inquiries regarding the recent financial transfers made to the Cayman accounts that were set up in February. Amelia Cole's smile held steady, yet her knuckles turned pale around the pin. Conventional tax strategy. The CFO is equipped to furnish comprehensive documentation. Adrian Blake nodded with an eagerness that felt almost too hasty. Yet those specific accounts had indeed been set up at Ethan Cole's behest. As the vote was summoned, a chorus of security alerts echoed through the halls of the building. Warnings of protocol violations flickered across the screens, casting a shadow over the network. The integrated security system, a product of my design, had identified unauthorized alterations to the protocol. The security chief stepped in, his demeanor polished yet taut. An unauthorized access situation has arisen. Amelia Cole's poise wavered. Address the matter and provide an update following our meeting. Regrettably, access to this room is restricted, ma'am. Could you clarify what you mean? All of us hold the necessary authorization. As the boardroom doors swung open, I entered, flanked by Samuel Brooks and a pair of FBI agents. The atmosphere thickened with a palpable sense of disbelief. I believe you're in my seat, Amelia Cole, I said with a measured calmness. Amelia Cole's complexion faded, her form instinctively withdrawing as if confronted by a specter. Adrian Blake fumbled with his presentation remote, his balance faltering as he stumbled backward, ultimately colliding with the wall. Is that you, Ethan Cole? Edward Clark murmured in astonishment. Still very much breathing, in spite of recent attempts to suggest otherwise, I acknowledged the security team with a nod as they handed out sealed evidence packets to every board member. Kindly examine these materials with great attention. They chronicle a methodical web of deceit, corporate intrigue, and nefarious plots of attempted murder. The SEC investigator's eyes widened as she perused the contents of her packet. With a swift gesture, she beckoned her colleagues who were patiently waiting outside. This is impossible, Amelia Cole stammered, regaining her composure swiftly. This individual unmistakably presents as a fraud. Last week, the Coast Guard confirmed the tragic news of Ethan Cole's drowning. The Coast Guard scoured the area you indicated, a full 20 miles from the spot where you truly cast me into the depths that I powered on the boardroom display, revealing the yacht's GPS coordinates juxtaposed with the designated search area. A regrettable miscalculation in your navigation. Adrian Blake inched closer to the door, only to discover it obstructed by FBI agents. This is absurd, Amelia Cole declared, her voice unwavering, yet her eyes betrayed a whirlwind of panic. Ethan Cole possesses a twin brother, with whom he has been estranged for many years. This unmistakably reflects Ryan Mitchell's attempt to assert his position. I interjected, noting that fingerprints and DNA would swiftly refute that notion. Yet, with greater persuasion, the recording from the yacht played, and Amelia Cole's icy voice enveloped the space. Did you honestly believe that a woman of my caliber would find satisfaction merely biding my time for your natural demise? Given your age and the legacy of your family, it may very well extend another 15 years. As her own words reverberated in the boardroom, Amelia Cole's poise shattered entirely. With a sudden burst of determination, she dashed towards the exit, only to be thwarted by the vigilant security personnel as the circumstances unraveled before him. Adrian Blake instinctively started to withdraw. She had meticulously orchestrated every detail. He blurted, panic palpable in his voice. The manipulation of medication, the hidden offshore accounts, it was all part of Amelia Cole's scheme. I was merely executing her directives. The FBI agent remarked, Mr. Reynolds, that your text messages indicate a spirited involvement, coupled with a rather close relationship. I eagerly anticipate the moment we can shed the facade and revel in the abundance together. It hardly suggests a hesitant participation. Edward Clark stood, his face a vivid shade of crimson, a storm of anger brewing within him. You have been methodically unraveling the very fabric of Ethan Cole's enterprise from within. The foundation was laid bare, the security protocols shifted. It was all a meticulous preparation. You don't understand, Amelia Cole said, shifting her approach to reveal a sense of vulnerability. Ethan Cole was teetering on the edge of instability. The deterioration of his cognitive faculties was jeopardizing the company's stability. All my actions were driven by a desire to safeguard the future of secure tech. The SEC investigator countered, citing the medical documentation, that Dr. Harrison's report shows Ethan Cole's cognitive function is entirely normal for his age. Your consultation with Dr. Lansing took place without Ethan Cole undergoing any examination. The following hour progressed with meticulous accuracy. Investigators from the SEC unveiled a trove of documents detailing financial irregularities. Medical experts have verified the tampering of the medication. Technical specialists confirmed the breach of system access. Amidst the turmoil, I upheld my poise, prioritizing the safeguarding of the corporation over any desire for personal retribution. When presented with the opportunity to pursue further charges in addition to the corporate fraud, I chose to decline. I expressed that the security of the company and the ongoing support of our foundation are my foremost priorities. Justice shall unfold through the appropriate avenues of the law. Amelia Cole, watching her choices dwindle, unleashed one last frantic accusation. Your age makes you ill-suited to lead this company. The board is well aware of it. It is a truth universally acknowledged. I observed her with a steady gaze, seasoned enough to have envisioned a person like you long before this moment. That as Amelia Cole and Adrian Blake were led away in handcuffs, the board came together in a unanimous decision to restore my authority. The urgent gathering evolved into a calculated discussion aimed at assessing the fallout and reinforcing governance measures. We ought to have recognized the signs, Edward Clark confessed. A slow shake of his head accompanying his words, her persuasion was utterly compelling. Indeed, deception often is, I responded. Thus, we are putting new oversight procedures into effect without delay. That I have delineated modifications to our governance framework. Requirements for dual verification in significant financial transactions, broadened board oversight regarding succession planning, and improved safeguards for the foundation's endowment. These measures are not rooted in distrust, I clarified. They focus on establishing systems that surpass the capabilities of any single person, myself included. As the meeting drew to a close, I found myself momentarily solitary in the boardroom, gazing at the portrait that Amelia Cole had hastily arranged. My reflection gazed back at me, perfected, polished, and neatly ensconced in the annals of time. That afternoon, I had it taken away. The past was a realm unto itself, a chapter closed and sealed away. The future demanded unwavering watchfulness. 1 month following the intense boardroom confrontation, I found myself standing before the gathered students of the Mentorship Foundation. Relief and renewed confidence illuminated their faces, as the program's future was now assured. The headquarters of the foundation, nestled within a transformed warehouse in East Palo Alto, thrummed with vitality. Computer labs and collaboration spaces embodied potential rather than mere benevolence, a vital distinction in my worldview. Your destinies were always certain, I reassured them. Indeed, we are set to broaden the program by 50% in the coming year. The declaration elicited an outburst of applause. What was once on the brink of dismantlement has now been fortified through improved governance safeguards and committed financial support. We are creating new scholarships in honor of the employees who safeguarded SecureTech's mission amid recent challenges. I continued. The Emily Carter Excellence Award is set to offer complete university funding for 5 more students each year. Emily Carter, newly elevated to the role of Chief of Staff, offered a humble smile as the room erupted in applause. Her understated skill had played a crucial role in safeguarding all that I had created. The Samuel Brooks Security Fellowship aims to empower students aspiring to forge careers in the realm of cybersecurity, while the Loyalty Scholarship, bestowed upon those who exemplify outstanding integrity, will alleviate the financial burdens of graduate education. After graduation, Jaden Rodriguez approached us, ready to join our security development team. Concern washed over us when news of the restructuring reached our ears. It was hard for anyone to fathom that you would have desired such a thing. That is precisely why trust should be established on a foundation that extends beyond the authority of a single individual, I articulated, leading him toward a presentation of the newly devised governance framework. The newly established framework guarantees that the foundation remains steadfast, irrespective of the individual at the helm of the company. He nodded, grasping the concept instantly, much like integrating security into the system architecture from the outset rather than tacking it on afterward. Exactly. The most formidable security measures are not merely responses to threats. It has been crafted from the very outset. The alterations reached far beyond the very base itself. SecureTech has instituted improved oversight protocols across the organization. Trust holds immense value, I conveyed to the board. Yet, the importance of verification cannot be overstated. A formal mentorship pipeline was established, connecting seasoned executives with promising young talent. The program featured a systematic rotation of responsibilities, designed to thwart the emergence of information silos that might facilitate future manipulation. That evening, I found myself back at my home, a place I hadn't visited since the day Amelia Cole was taken away. Samuel Brooks oversaw the extraction of her belongings and an extensive revamp of the security measures. It struck me as peculiar how desolate 60 rooms could seem, I mused, as I wandered through the hushed corridors of the house. Perhaps you could sell it, Samuel Brooks proposed. Countless memories linger. Certain memories hold value, even those that bring pain. They serve as a reminder for us to remain watchful. I lingered over the photograph of Amelia Cole and me on our wedding day. Her smile, once enchanting, now seemed deliberate. I took down the photo, yet I chose not to dispose of it. A poignant reminder of the fragility of trust and how effortlessly it can be turned into a weapon. The weekend that followed, my sister Emily Carter Stone paid a visit. Amelia Cole had meticulously distanced us, conjuring up disputes and misinterpretations to sever my ties with family. I ought to have recognized her true nature, Emily Carter Stone admitted, her voice laced with sincere regret. Her words flowed with such persuasion, painting a vivid picture of your memory lapses and the increasing edge to your temperament. She presented the doctor's reports to me. I assured her they were forgeries. She wove her web around everyone, Emily Carter Stone. That was her unique gift. At 73, Emily Carter Stone's keen intellect remained as vibrant as ever, even as arthritis tempered her physical agility. Having once donned the robes of a judge, she swiftly grasped the legal ramifications at play. Her earlier unions, those fatalities weren't mere coincidences, were they? I have confirmed that both cases are being reopened by the authorities. The consistency of the pattern is impossible to overlook. Ryan Mitchell became part of our circle, and our public reconciliation felt truly authentic. The financial forensics team meticulously followed her trail, reaching back 15 years, he reported. 2 former spouses, a tapestry of identities woven together. She exhibited a level of thoroughness that surpassed that of most operatives I have monitored. How can one ever place their trust in another after experiencing something like this? Emily Carter Stone inquired gently. I pondered the question with great care. Trust is not merely a leap into the unknown. It is acquired through deeds, confirmed by the passage of time. Amelia Cole imparted a crucial lesson. Trust, when unaccompanied by verification, becomes a form of vulnerability. That ought to be etched in stone, Ryan Mitchell remarked. Ideally positioned upon the wall of the boardroom. The aftermath unveiled unforeseen silver linings, rekindled family bonds, fortified security measures, and offered a sharper insight into what genuinely holds significance. At SecureTech, I orchestrated a carefully structured leadership transition plan. This endeavor would unfold with careful planning, clarity, and a foundation of trust that has been cultivated over time, in stark contrast to Amelia Cole's sudden bid for control. I conveyed to the executive team that we are crafting a framework that reflects our fundamental principles. Security transcends mere product. It embodies our very practice. I formed an innovation council made up of our brightest talents, featuring several foundation graduates who have ascended to senior roles. Their viewpoint harmonized with the insights of seasoned executives, fostering a vibrant atmosphere that thwarted any sense of stagnation. Emily Carter had discerned potential leaders from among her ranks. The future generation ought not to linger in anticipation of our departure to wield their influence. I expressed to her, it is wise to guide them while we still have the opportunity to impart our knowledge. In the midst of a mentoring session with the next generation, an eager young executive inquired about the source of my remarkable calm during the ordeal. What kept you from pursuing vengeance? I would have yearned to obliterate anyone who dared to betray me in such a manner. I smiled, acknowledging the fervor of youth that places feeling above calculation. When you have crafted something enduring, you can withstand any tempest. Revenge dwells in the shadows of what has already transpired. Leadership embodies a vision for what lies ahead. The criminal trials unfolded with meticulous accuracy. Amelia Cole was sentenced to 20 years for her involvement in attempted murder and financial fraud. Adrian Blake, having shown considerable cooperation, was sentenced to 7 years for his involvement in the conspiracy. I did not attend either sentencing, having conveyed all that was required in my deposition. Their punishment served as a form of justice, devoid of any sense of satisfaction. Half a year following Amelia Cole's sentencing, I set sail on my new yacht across the shimmering Mediterranean waters. The very waters that once threatened to take my life now offered a serene space for contemplation. George Miller, having observed Amelia Cole's probing inquiries prior to my accident, had been brought back on board. His weathered visage transformed with an uncommon smile as I stepped aboard. It's a pleasure to see you returning to the water, Mr. Harrington. There are those who may choose to steer clear of it in light of recent events. To evade fear is to grant it strength. George Miller. It is wiser to confront it head-on. As the sun dipped below the horizon of the Mediterranean, I reflected on the peculiar path that had led me to this moment. Amelia Cole had been correct about one aspect. 70, I found myself transformed, a far cry from the man I once was in my military days. I had grown wiser, cultivated patience, and become exceedingly dangerous when faced with a threat. It is said that the waters of the Mediterranean are steeped in memories. These waves once loomed like adversaries as I fought to endure Amelia Cole's treachery. They sway softly beneath my vessel, companions in serene reflection. The arduous lesson they imparted has transformed into a treasure of wisdom, ready to be shared. Experience transcends the simple passage of time. It revolves around cultivating the patience to respond thoughtfully instead of merely reacting. At 70, I held a wisdom that Amelia Cole and Adrian Blake could never grasp, a viewpoint that transcends the allure of short-term triumphs, focusing instead on the enduring implications that lie ahead. Young people cherish swiftness. Age values meticulousness. As Amelia Cole propelled me into these depths, she believed she was removing a hindrance. Instead, she forged an opponent who had nothing to lose and everything to regain. The grace we uphold in the face of adversity speaks volumes about our true nature, far surpassing the significance of any triumph. In the face of Amelia Cole's cunning, I steadfastly chose not to stoop to vengeful schemes or public denunciations. Boundaries extend beyond merely excluding others. They revolve around articulating our core values. At times, one must assertively claim respect through their deeds when it is not offered willingly. The board members who observed Amelia Cole's decline gleaned deeper insights into leadership from my response to betrayal than from any triumphs we had experienced together. My genuine legacy was never the $3 billion that Amelia Cole desired. It resides within the 50 youthful minds our foundation cultivates annually, in the moral values that steer secure tech, and in the governance frameworks designed to endure beyond any single individual. The significance of our creations pales in comparison to the impact we have on nurturing the growth of others. The innovations we forge today will likely fade into obsolescence within a mere 10 years. The impact we make will resonate through the ages. When you've endured the sting of familial treachery or the shadow of workplace deceit, heed your instincts when something feels amiss. With age comes not frailty, but a unique form of resilience, an understanding that allows us to question the narratives presented to us, the patience to thoughtfully consider our reactions, and the clarity to discern what is genuinely significant. Impart your hard-won insights to those who will appreciate them, yet always remember to safeguard what you have created. Security is not a manifestation of paranoia. It is wisdom in a realm where not all hold your beliefs. The sunset over the Mediterranean evokes the thought that conclusions frequently usher in the most exquisite illumination. No matter the tempests you've faced, keep in mind that often, the softest reply conveys the most profound reality. With a mere click of handcuffs, Amelia Cole's dramatic betrayal reached its poignant conclusion. What was once deemed a weakness transformed into my most formidable strength. Ultimately, it was not the vibrancy of youth, the allure of beauty, or the sharpness of cunning that triumphed, but rather the unwavering influence of experience steering justice toward its rightful resolution.